The rivalry between Ayrton Senna and Alain Prost was not just fierce. It was intense, unlike any other. From teammates to enemies, their dire rivalry captivated headlines without fail. The Prost-Senna rivalry is often seen as one of Formula One's fiercest, with both drivers considered among the sport's best. Prost teamed up with Niki Lauda at McLaren in 1984, securing his first championship in 1985 and another in 1986. Interestingly, Prost played a pivotal role in persuading McLaren to bring Senna on board from Team Lotus in 1988. Who would have thought that? That's when the rivalry really kicked off. Senna narrowly edged out Prost to win the 1988 championship. Things escalated in 1989, as tensions rose over accusations of favoritism towards Senna, pushing Prost to switch to Ferrari in 1990. This sparked a fierce battle not just between drivers, but also between McLaren and Ferrari, ramping up the manufacturer rivalry to new heights. Even though Prost had already secured 2 Formula One World Championships, Senna's aggressive driving style constantly clashed with Prost's more strategic approach. Their contrasting methods, paired with both drivers having top-notch cars, practically guaranteed that there would be plenty of controversial moments both on and off the racetrack. Their rivalry as teammates was nothing short of pure chaos. The 1988 preseason buzzed with speculation over championship contenders and driver lineups. When Ayrton Senna joined McLaren Honda alongside Prost, the anticipation was high. While many predicted Prost would dominate, Senna's relentless driving and razor-sharp performances proved otherwise. By the end of the season, Senna secured his first championship, defying expectations and setting the stage for their epic rivalry. During the dominant 1988 season for Honda-powered McLaren, their cars were head and shoulders above the competition, winning 15 out of 16 races and securing the Constructors' Championship with a record 199 points. The season didn't start smoothly for Senna, though. He suffered gearbox failure at his home Grand Prix, the 1988 Brazilian Grand Prix, where Prost claimed victory. Throughout the season, Senna managed to notch up 8 wins and 13 pole positions, showcasing his raw speed in single-lap qualifying. In contrast, Prost crossed the finish line first 7 times and earned 2 pole positions, highlighting his calculated and strategic racing approach. These stats began to underline Senna's prowess over a single lap compared to Prost's methodical racecraft. Tensions started brewing towards the end of the season, when Prost became concerned that Senna was receiving preferential treatment from Honda. His fears were confirmed during a meeting with Honda's R&D head, Nobuhiko Kawamoto, who acknowledged that the Japanese engineers admired Senna's aggressive driving style. Senna had already formed a strong bond with Honda back in 1987, during his time at Lotus Honda, although promises were made to Prost about ensuring fairness and transparency between the drivers. These assurances didn't materialize as expected. Then arose the most shocking incident between the two, sending shockwaves through the world of F1. In the 1989 season, Alain Prost secured his 3rd World Championship, marking his final triumph with McLaren, who also clinched the Constructors' title for the 2nd year running. The championship drama unfolded in controversial fashion at the 1989 Japanese Grand Prix, the penultimate race of the season. Senna, needing a win to stay in contention, collided with Prost in the closing laps, forcing Prost out of the race. However, Senna was later disqualified for re-entering the track incorrectly after the incident, handing Prost the title. Throughout the season, Prost and Senna traded victories, although Ferrari occasionally posed a challenge to McLaren's dominant Honda V10 SEs. Tensions began brewing in the McLaren camp during the 1989 San Marino Grand Prix. Prost voiced his dissatisfaction with Senna over a pre-race agreement. Whoever took the lead off the start line wouldn't be challenged into the first corner at Tosa. The 1989 Japanese Grand Prix remains etched in Formula One history as one of its most infamous races. Senna started from pole position with Prost alongside him in second. At the start, Prost surged ahead and led into the first turn while Senna dropped back, maintaining their positions. As the race neared its end on lap 46 of 53, Senna, desperate to stay in the championship hunt, attempted to pass Prost at the final chicane. However, Prost closed the door, leading to a collision between the two. Prost argued he wasn't at fault, claiming Senna's move was risky and there was no longer enough space. After the incident, Senna stopped off track and signaled marshals for a push start, allowed if a car is in a dangerous position. He rejoined the race via a runoff area, pitted for a new front wing, and remarkably regained the lead in the closing laps, crossing the finish line first. However, a controversial silence followed on the podium without Senna. Officials later disqualified Senna for re-entering the track illegally, denying him a 2nd championship title. Senna appealed to the FIA, but his case was swiftly dismissed. Throughout the offseason, Senna continued to protest, setting the stage for a heated battle yet to come. Can you imagine how much more intense the feud got once they became part of rival teams? In the 1990 Formula One season, there was fierce competition between Ferrari and McLaren Honda. Senna remained with McLaren Honda, while Prost had moved to Ferrari for the first time. Like in 1989, the championship showdown came down to the wire at Suzuka. Prost had mounted a strong challenge in his Ferrari, winning 3 races mid-season in Mexico, France, and the British Grand Prix. This set the stage for a third consecutive championship battle between Prost and Senna. Heading into the penultimate race at Suzuka, Senna knew that finishing ahead of Prost, or both drivers crashing out, would secure him the World Championship title. Despite securing pole position, Senna was upset because the starting line was on the dirty side of the track. He argued with FISA President Jean-Marie Balestre that pole position should start on the racing line, but his request was denied. An angry Senna vowed to take the lead at any cost heading into Turn 1. As the lights went out, Prost, starting from the opposite side, got ahead of Senna. Determined to pass, Senna dove inside Prost's Ferrari at Turn 1, causing a collision that sent both cars into the gravel and out of the race. Despite the crash, Senna became the champion. With Benetton drivers dominating the podium, McLaren Honda secured their 6th Constructors' Championship. In the tense aftermath, Prost expressed his anger with Senna's aggressive tactics, publicly criticizing him and even contemplating retirement. In 1991, Senna dominated the season with consistent and relentless driving, securing the championship with 96 points, compared to Mansell's 72. Meanwhile, Prost was sidelined for the final race, due to a heated dispute with Ferrari bosses. His public criticism of the Ferrari car as a truck and his mocking remarks about the team's performance led to his abrupt departure from the seat. Finally, they went their separate paths, finding peace between them. In the 1992 Formula One season, McLaren's dominant era came to an end, as Nigel Mansell of Williams became the first British driver since James Hunt to win the World Championship. Senna managed 3 race victories, but finished 4th in the overall standings. Prost decided to take a break from racing after his well-known disagreements with Ferrari. He returned in the 1993 season and secured his 4th Drivers' Championship. Senna, driving for a Ford-powered McLaren, finished a close second. Prost's championship victory led to his retirement announcement, while Senna, frustrated with McLaren's performance, began exploring new opportunities in Formula One. Who would have imagined such a conclusion? Yet, the two forged a dramatic reconciliation of their relationship. Prost and Senna patched things up, evident during an onboard lap with Senna, who said, "Sending a special hello to our dear friend Alain. We all miss you, Alain." Prost was moved by Senna's gesture. The two had decided to meet before the Monaco Grand Prix to talk about safety and rules in Formula One. Their relationship was truly dramatic, from Prost advocating for Senna to join him at McLaren, to their intense rivalry where they seemed to plot against each other, and then their eventual reconciliation and meetings to improve Formula One. It's a journey unlike any other in the sport's history. Well, that brings us to the end of today's video. Make sure to subscribe if you still haven't, and while you're at it, leave a comment telling us who you want us to cover next.